Yeah, I am a little exhausted, tired.
Oh, for real.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mood Mondays. My name is G and I am your host.
And my name is Jasmine Davis, and I'm your host, and I'm a little exhausted. And this topic we're
That's the
going to
mood.
talk about today is a whole mood about exhaustion, how to deal with it, how to rejuvenate your body on a mental level, physical
Physical,
level, and
emotional.
totally an emotional level. I don't know about you, but over the last few years, I've been a little emotionally drained
Hmm
from a lot of different things
hmm
and mentally. It's been disturbing.
So, excuse me.
Speaking of mental,
Excuse me.
you're excused.
Speaking of mental, how do you kind of reset and rejuvenate your mental exhaustion? First of all, how do you recognize exhaustion outside
That's
of
a good
all these
question.
things?
How do
I
you
mean, they
recognize?
physically, emotionally, and mentally happen to you, but how do you get yourself off autopilot? Because sometimes we can
Yeah.
be on autopilot. You're
Yeah.
exhausted, you're exhausted.
I feel like for me, how I recognize my mental exhaustion started with mental first is I started getting brain fog. I notice I'm more forgetful of things. I'm I'm mentally irritated. I don't have as much patience,
Yeah.
and I my problem solving skills is not as sharp as they usually are because I my brain has had it. I have these more of these, as you would call it, blonde moments. You've seen them, you call them out, but it it happens a lot when I'm mentally exhausted. My
Yeah.
body needs to recharge. And how do you handle that? Like, how do you know when you're mentally exhausted?
I would say, like, maybe there's like a numbness,
Mm,
or maybe like a push everything out
okay,
of my mind, and
I
I'm
get that.
starting not to. If I feel the overload coming, it's
Yeah,
like, yo, I can feel something is off with, you
anxiety or
know,
something in the
the way I'm
brain.
thinking. Like it's
Your
just
brain is
moving.
swirling,
It's just
spinning. It's spinning out of control.
it's
Like,
like
make it stop. Make it stop.
it's like because you're trying to focus on like too much,
Yeah, brain overload.
and brain overload is where I notice some of my mental exhaustion
I feel like a
starts to
lot of us,
come,
yeah, get brain overload.
and that's just from even like you said, with brain fog or daily processes, like stuff you forget. Oh my fucking god, I forgot my wallet. I forgot my keys.
Talk about
Like,
going to your car and you forget your car keys. The main purpose is going to your car is get to drive your car, but you forgot your car
but you
keys
forgot
because
your
you're
keys.
that mentally
You're
exhausted.
exhausted. So there's forgetfulness when it comes to mental exhaustion.
Totally.
And I feel like, what are some ways that you can definitely combat that?
For me, how I now handle my mental exhaustion. Number one, I limit my time on social media and any news outlet. That's I don't really watch news anyway, but that's
Anymore.
one of the main things I notice that keeps my brain and my mental at a healthy state. I try to say more positive affirmations to myself and look at more of the positive things versus the things that could be looked at in a negative light.
Yeah,
Even if I'm faking it to make it, I try to say more positive things.
I think it to make it is real.
Also meditation. I notice a difference when I don't meditate. I'm trying to get into the daily practice of meditating, if not 5 to 15 minutes twice a day
Yes.
of meditating. And my thing, I'm talking about real meditation. I listen to music and I meditate, but I want to get back to the place, and I'm trying to actively do that, where I sit in silence and focus on my breath, and it
Yeah.
just helps my brain that's spinning slowly calm down.
Yeah.
Like, it calms down. The thoughts are there, but they stop spinning. Like, people think meditation is like, oh, your thoughts just stop. No, your thoughts are already going to be there. You just have
Yeah.
to. I notice how I keep myself from being mental exhausted with the thoughts is I was taught your thoughts are going to be there.
They are.
It's not your job to stop the thoughts. It's your job to just observe them. Don't try to control them. Don't rationalize them.
No.
Because sometimes it's not yours. You'll get mentally exhausted trying to figure out why the fuck did I just think that? Or what where did that come from? Or why is this person in my head? Why is this situation won't leave my head? And I feel like if you just observe it and don't judge it and you're meditating, you're focusing on your breath, that's one of the main key things that I do that really helps with my mental health, really helps with my mental exhaustion.
I find that helps me too. I remember working with a professor in school and she did mindfulness. So I love mindfulness meditation. Actually, one of the stronger meditations. But honestly, to be aware in the moment, also, you're still gonna have those thoughts, but be aware in the moment. And they were looking at how if you practice mindfulness and listen to it, like guided mindfulness, you have guided mindfulness, and then you have unguided mindfulness. But
we were talking about, for those of you who are trying to find out the difference, I was talking about when I'm sitting in silence, the unguided mindfulness. And G is talking about the mindfulness that I feel like first timers should totally take advantage of.
You should do guided mindfulness. I've done both guided and unguided, but each day I would have to go into the lab,
right?
And so you get your student subjects, they'll come in, they'll listen to the guided mindfulness, and then right after that they'll take a quiz. So their scores increased on the quiz when they did the mindfulness meditation, and those that didn't do it and just did the quiz, there was difference in results. But I feel like it was teaching, and I would have to listen to it every day to make sure it was cool. But that was one way. I didn't know that I was actually learning how to kind of self-practice on mental health processes, on slowing down and being like, oh shit, like I told you, like when my mind is like spinning, it's like, oh my God, there's so much stuff.
Okay. Trust me, I've been there.
Moment.
Where are you at now?
Moment.
What are you looking at? What are you trying to comprehend right now? Yeah.
How many breaths? and honestly, mindfulness goes into like head to toe, or just, it also taps into the sensual, because like you say somebody's guiding you, they'll say like, how many breaths do you notice yourself taking? Then concentrate on the in and out. Do you feel the rise of your chest? Do you, like, those are, I have a good voice.
I'm feeling it. You should do. I'm listening to it now. I'm getting the mindful meditation.
It's real. I love that. And I do that in the morning sometimes. Like if I know like I have enough time to get up and kind of get my day started before my day starts.
Yeah.
And like in the shower, I'll turn on our mindfulness or some type of chakra alignment or releasing kind of sound wave or energy source to help calm my mental. So I think those are great ways to really get into resetting the mental exhaustion.
Such an amazing, and I want to piggyback on two things that G has just talked about. First, I've heard studies and so many studies and so many articles about doing mindful meditation before taking a test and in class, how it increased you passing and getting higher scores versus people not. So you brought up something that is your confidence level, your brain, because you're able to comprehend more what you're reading because you slow down your brain to comprehend it versus having that anxiety. Like some people have test taking anxiety and you go right into it versus they sit you down and guide you through to calm your brain, and then you're nice and relaxed mentally and your brain is not exhausted. You have something in front of you need to comprehend to take the test, and you're able to do it. And the other thing is, like you said, waking up. I feel like when you wake up, meditating should be the first thing you try to do. And for those of you who have children or those of you who have a partner, you need to set some mental boundaries with them and let them know, like, I need to meditate. If
Yeah.
you can't do it for 10 or 15 minutes, 5 minutes, even 3 minutes help you. And if you have a partner, you maybe should take turn with the
Yeah.
kids. Like, okay, can you handle the kids while I meditate for 3 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Then I'll take care of the kids. You meditate for 3 to 5 minutes. Or
Yeah.
if you got a partner, like, sorry, babe, let me meditate for 3 minutes and let me get back to you.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point you brought up about, and I love meditation. Y'all know we can have a whole segment on it.
Yeah, actually, we may.
Yeah,
we may have a
we
special
may
guest
have a
coming.
special guest for that. We like that.
Mm.
Thank you. Focusing on that early rise
The first,
when you do
yeah.
it. I was going to say, if I open my mind and open my eyes at the same time, I say thank you. Those are that's one good mental practice that I have really sat with, and it starts to increase my gratitude of my day and kind of release the bullshit that kind of you're stimulated with on your way to work, on your way to appointments, on your way to other stuff. Like
you set that intention.
You set that intention out. It's just I open my mind, I open my eyes, I say thank you.
And you really opened your heart when you say thank you, giving gratitude. So your mind is connected to that. And then your day starts. You intentionally set your day off with, I'm just going to be in the present moment. I'm grateful for this. I'm going to actively focus on my breath and calming my brain, which can also help with physical exhaustion, because if you're mentally exhausted and you don't calm your brain down, how can you be aware that you're physically exhausted?
And they're all aligned. I feel like that's why we hit the mental first, because it kind of follows through mental, physical, emotional, because they're all interconnected, because you're not one domain. So I feel like with physical, you have to learn how to do certain things to kind of reset your body.
How do you reset your body when you're physically?
First of all, this is interesting. When you're doing mindfulness and you're conscious, right, to the breaths you take, the rise in your chest.
Yeah.
You realize that you take that you're taking your body with you throughout the day. So we don't pause to feel our body.
No.
So when you pause to feel your body, or the response your body is giving you, the reactions that you feel, like even your tensing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, releasing that is something I feel like I start noticing by seeing what my body does. Or you can go in certain environments and your body will tense up.
Oh, immediately.
Because you might be physically exhausted.
You may be
from the environment.
From the environment, honey. Yeah.
And which is why I feel like it's important to, if you work in certain environments, 9 to 5, whatever, make sure you change it. If you do have a lunch break, go outside. Get some fresh air. Get something that changes your physical presence and your mental presence to align itself together so that it relaxes your body. There are also other things that you can do, like neat movements, and neat activities are something we do on a daily basis, like walking.
Maybe pottery in the garden. Maybe that's
things
so relaxing.
That still kind of bring therapeutic measures
exactly
to your body
right.
And your mind, so it kind of aligns them together. And I feel like that those are ways that you can replenish
and rejuvenate your body physically. Another thing that I've noticed for me, how I replenish my body, water besides hydration. Hydration is really key to replenish your physical body. Another thing, I feel like when you're physically drained and you're just done, supplementations like magnesium is good for. Magnesium is really good for reducing stress on the body.
It's good for mood.
It's good for moods,
Mood
sleep,
Mondays.
mood Mondays, and a lot of us is very deficient
And
in
magnesium.
magnesium.
Yeah.
So I really think supplementation when you're physically drained, you need to figure out, do you have a vitamin deficiency or
Yeah.
something like that? And slowing down. That's one of the things physically that it helps reset
Because we're so
my
go, go, go,
physical
go, go,
body.
go, go, go.
Go, 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 go. You're always going. You're doing this. You're doing that. Like I literally have to set aside time for myself to physically just sit still, like just sitting still.
Yeah.
Just sit down or taking a walk, like we just said, take a walk, or just making sure that if you are working in a place that is mentally taxing on your body,
Yeah.
things that you can do to cut down physical exhaustion is when you don't have to go to that. Like if you are, what do you call those people? Construction workers.
Yeah. You don't have to go
Or
to that site.
doctors,
Yeah.
or massage therapists,
Any
like
kind of
it's
movement, labor.
anything that has to do with labor on your body, using your
Yeah.
body for labor, you can be physically exhausted from, but you have to
Yeah.
find that time to slow down. You have to find that time to realize that your body you're not a machine.
Yeah.
Your body will break down if you don't find that time. Maybe get a massage, maybe take some cold showers to cut down some inflammation in your body. But the number one thing I found, the top three things I found is slowing down, hydration,
Hydration.
and supplementation.
Supplements.
And sleep. Sleep helps a lot with mental clarity and physical clarity. Napping, if you can't get a lot of sleep, they say 7 to 9 hours will really help you, but a lot of people can't get 7 to 9 hours.
That's true because we live in
a fast-paced world.
Fast-paced world where, say, you work and you have to get up at 6 a.m. just to get to you drive 2 hours to work. Now you're cutting in your sleep time because not only that, some of us live in cities that traffic is crazy. So you always have to account for time.
LA, Miami.
But there are days that you rejuvenate yourself, and if you want to sleep in, or if you want to, if you can afford to sleep in, or do those things, or nap. If you can
Napping is very important. Napping is very important, and people take napping for granted. If you have a physically taxing job and you have 30 minutes for lunch or something like that, I feel like eat a snack for 10 or 15 minutes and take that other 15 minutes and nap.
Power naps are amazing.
Power naps reset you so
Set
good.
that alarm. I'm telling you, I'm a power napper.
I'm a power. Oh my God. I don't care these days. I'm going to take me a nap. I remember being on set. A few shows, and it's hurry up and wait. You just sit there and you wait before you go do your scene. And you're waiting a long time and you're tired because sometimes you have to be on set for like 16 to 20 hours. You're like there and you're tired. And I noticed I will sit there and I will actively let them know, okay, because they will come knock on your trailer a few, maybe 15 minutes. I will let them know, can you knock on my trailer maybe 20 minutes because I'm going to take a nap and I'm going to need about 10 or 15 minutes to start waking up. But if I'm waiting for about an hour or two, I'm taking a nap. Yeah. I'm going to sleep. So maybe you're a busy mom or something like that, or you're a doctor or something, you're working at a hospital or a flight attendant or something like that. I think you should find a way somehow, even if it's sleeping in your car, and set that alarm clock for 15 to 20 minutes. It will really help you physically get through your day. And if you do that every day, you're adding more sleep time to your body.
You are adding more sleep time.
You're going to wake up feeling more refreshed mentally. Your body's going to thank you.
But you want to go into REM, you know what I mean? And you can go into REM when you're exhausted like that. So
you really can.
If you set that time, then
What is it? Theta too? I know delta is when you really sleep, but theta, you really do.
Well, REM is when you get that rapid eye movement. Boom, I'm there.
Oh, yeah. I know that.
I love a good shut eye.
A good shut eye. But totally, napping is very important when it comes to your physical rejuvenation and making sure you
Yeah, regardless of what
recover.
profession you're in, I feel like napping now. We didn't want to nap when we were younger, but I get it.
Yeah, look at me, I'm yawning now.
It's the best sleep in the world.
The best sleep in the world. I totally feel like it's late right now where we're filming, and I didn't take a nap today, and
I didn't even. I didn't even.
I can feel it on my body. I can feel it on my body, mentally and
So knock
physically.
yourself.
It's a new year. Happy New Year, by
Happy
the
New
way.
Year!
Yay!
Happy
Happy
New
New Year to all of
Year!
you. I just thought about that.
Yes,
It is
Happy New Year.
a new year, and
Yes.
already I think we've been go go
Thumping,
go.
thumping,
Yep,
thumping.
something in the new year, and
Yeah.
already I can feel that mental and physical exhaustion coming on. And now that I know better, I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, lady.
Finding practices and really not emotionally taxing ourselves, right?
Yes,
That moves us to the next one. But
emotional exhaustion.
knowing when to say no,
Yeah,
when
I
to
think
cut
that's
back,
so
when
important.
to reel it in, and how to communicate the emotion.
How do you do that?
At first, you have to be aware. You
Okay.
have to have
Yeah.
acceptance.
Yeah.
And I have to accept it. I have to accept the emotion. I got to be aware of the emotion. But you know, you process it. Sometimes emotion could make you retaliate or it can make you react, and you want to actually, if you connect your mental and your physical, so if you get emotional, you're able to kind of reel in because you have that mental capacity that
Hmm.
brings you emotional intelligence to reel it back and say, wait a minute, because first of all, if I ain't got enough sleep, there's too much stuff going on in my brain, and you said the wrong thing
How do you have the emotional capacity to
to not
handle all
pop
that?
off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like accepting it, acknowledge it, and find the source.
I would say that would be my
Find the
that
source.
will be one of my tips on emotional rejuvenation. I like to find the source. Why am I emotionally drained? Once I find the source, it may take some time, but being aware of my emotions now,
Yeah.
I find the source, I figure out where the source came from. Then, after I figure out where the source came from, my next step is how do I actively rejuvenate myself from this mental drainage? If it's a job that I have to be at and I'm emotionally drained from this job,
Yeah.
how can I limit my exposure to that source in any way? If I'm working with a partner I don't want to work with, maybe limit conversations that's not essential. If it's not an essential to the job that you're doing, limit the conversation. If you're in an environment with people like a big office, and limit essential interaction with people that emotionally drain you. If it's that family member that's emotionally we all know that. If it's that family member that's emotionally draining you, make sure, again, if it's not essential, you need to disconnect from that person.
And set boundaries. And like you said, like learn to say, all right, no.
You got to say
You
no.
gotta say no. And limit the emotional drainage. You know,
And yeah,
recognize it, and y'all know me. I have a fuck it muscle.
Yeah.
Increase your fuck it muscle. When you figure out what the source is, fuck it.
You really do. I feel like increasing
And not
that.
in a fuck it dismissive way. Fuck it in a not fuck it in a dismissive way. Fuck it in a way like, you know what I mean? Like
You're not gonna let it drain you
I'm not
anymore.
letting it
Like
drain
you're
me.
done.
You know.
Like I said, if it's not essential to you, like even if you're in school and it's some emotional baggage that's draining you, if it's not essential to where you need to be, don't do it.
And find a safe space.
Find to rejuvenate emotionally. I look for safe spaces all the time because that is what really helped me recharge fast. It helped me set those boundaries, and it helps me create that. I would say it gives me the power to say no to certain things. It helps me give myself that power to say no and to set boundaries because I have a safe space to go to.
And that creates more of a peaceful overall
Peace.
way to approach exhaustion.
Yeah.
Whether than having a more combative way of approaching exhaustion.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can be a little combative sometimes when all of these things aren't aligned. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's just moving back into alignment when you're exhausted. And exhaustion is real. Like you know, we are experiencing
We've all
several
experienced that.
things right now, even transitioning into a new year.
Oh
You
my God,
know,
it's been the last few years has been so
the last few
exhausting.
years have been exhausting, but now you're into a new year. You wanna actually try to work on practices that are going to limit and make you more aware of that.
Yeah.
And
How
we
can you create those,
we
like you
all
said,
have
safe
different
space?
external pressures, right?
Yeah.
And some external pressures, whether they're not yours or not, kind of may graze by and give you that emotional exhaustion, that physical exhaustion, or that mental exhaustion, and not carrying everybody else's exhaustion.
And that's the number one thing.
Because if I
Well,
can't carry my own exhaustion,
I was just gonna say, if you can carry your own,
I'm exhausted from thinking about exhaustion.
you can't carry other people's exhaustion. It goes piggies back to what we were saying of really limiting your overextension to other people who's draining you emotionally. Like limit, you need to start
Yeah.
limiting your exposure to those energies or those environments that's emotionally draining you until you can rejuvenate and be emotionally equipped and strong enough to go back in those environments if you choose to or if you have to, as far as work or whatever, relationships or friends or family.
Yeah.
If you have to, find another place to go to or limit yourself till you're able to be strong enough to go into those spaces, because mentally, going back to mental, that's mentally draining
It is.
when you're constantly getting emotionally drained by a lot of things in life that we've lately have experienced.
Yeah. And just learning how to communicate that in a healthy way to yourself first, I would say. Back to the awareness piece.
It all starts there.
I think being emotionally aware and physically and mentally aware, like, just helps you process what your next step is
And what your needs are.
and what's the solution to bringing you back to your center, your zen,
Yeah.
your moment of moments.
And your peace.
Peace is such a powerful
Peace.
word.
But like you said, you have to know.
Love.
Oh God.
I love a good peace. Sweater weather.
So I'm starting to like really appreciate the very quiet and subtle moments in my life because of the peace that it brings me physically, emotionally,
And you're working
and
towards
mentally.
peace.
Yeah.
And kind of all of your realms. You want to have that, and it kind of like a reservoir. Peace is like a reservoir when you do get exhausted.
Yeah.
It's like where can I pour a little piece of peace.
Just a little piece.
It's a little piece of peace. Where can I pour it? Okay.
Just pour it everywhere.
Just pour it.
But it's true.
Pull it from the reservoir,
It's
and you should have a reservoir of like resources that can help you kind of navigate when you're in that space. And people, either it's people to call, a book, listening to music, meditating, all those avenues that you can do, exercise, but not overexerting your exercise.
I think yoga. I love yoga. I say yoga. Did I say yogurt? I mean yoga. Yoga is.
I love a good sauna.
Oh my God!
Steam room. But like a sauna, sometimes will just if you can take the heat.
A sauna can really relax you, and if you have problems sleeping, put you right into that place. A jacuzzi is very relaxing. Oh, jacuzzi will knock me out. Talk about relaxing my body physically.
Water is very calming.
Water is very soothing.
Water is calming and soothing. I think even when drinking it, we got to stay hydrated when you get overexerted as well. But also, if you put yourself in that kind of space of water, find some water and just maybe kick your feet in it. Listen to the waves if you're, in
Oh,
coastal areas.
water will
They say
really
amazing.
relax you mentally,
It
physically, and
will.
emotionally. I am mentally drained right now,
Yeah.
y'all.
So,
Because it's late where we are again, but
yeah.
water really does. That's another thing that I realized for me. Water does help reset me, reset my clarity when I'm
Yeah.
near it, when I'm sitting by the ocean.
I go think.
I go, and then I'm very relaxed
I
while I'm
am. And my
thinking.
thinking is so like,
It's
la la
zen.
la.
Yeah, it's very zen. It's very
Yeah.
peaceful. It's very not forced. And then I'm actively listening to the ocean, which distracts my chatter brain,
Yeah.
and it helps calms everything
And it
down.
puts you in awe.
It does. It
And
puts you in a
like,
very soothing,
it's like this body of water. It's just,
yeah,
it just,
very soothing mind
and don't let
frame.
the moon be like just
Oh, I love.
hitting it right. I'm like,
You
this
just
is
want to
a
sleep.
nighttime
Yeah, you
moon.
just want to
Yeah.
sleep right then and there.
And the
But
sunrise one is very good too. If you get a chance to do a sunrise, kind of
beautiful,
um, sit at an ocean or a beach or something.
very
This is why I
beautiful.
love being somewhere coastal because water is actually very calming.
It's very calming.
So
Speaking of coastal, yeah, it's very late here where we at. You
yes,
know,
so
so
we hope that you can elevate your mood and turn
totally,
exhaustion into excellence. And let us know some ways that you use different
yeah.
practices to help yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally when you deal with exhaustion.
Yeah, I want to know. Please drop a comment on either X or on our Instagram. You can, at Mood
Or the YouTube.
or the YouTube. Make sure you drop active comments because I'm really curious. And also, I want to build a community to help each other. So, let others know, what do you do to help really recharge and rejuvenate yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally? How can you help someone by giving them notes? And you may give me tips, or,
I'm open to all the tips.
I'm open to all the rejuvenation this year because, like we said, we're mentally exhausted, and now we're just in our rejuvenation mood, and that's my mode, and that's my mood on Mood
Mood
Mondays.
Mondays.
Until next time, Happy New Year! I love all of you. I wish you success, happiness,
And an abundant year.
that part.